Hey everyone, Daniel from Homegrown Australia. Been a while since I've made a video, so I thought I'd get out here while the weather's starting to improve and show you what's been going on in my garden. Hope you find it a little bit interesting. I'm in the outer eastern suburbs of Melbourne here in Australia, and it's the 8th of August, it's the afternoon, and it's been a beautiful day today after we've, coming out of a winter. We're heading towards spring in a few weeks' time. The sun has just gone behind some clouds, but other than that, it's been absolutely beautiful. So I've been getting out in the garden a little bit, trying to catch up. And in front of me here, we've got one of the orange trees. And one of the great things about oranges is they deliver when you need them. Right when you need that vitamin C in winter, the oranges come into full force. These are just a dwarf orange tree. Got a couple here next to the rhubarb plant. And they're just little dwarf trees, and they only grow about this size, but you can see how many oranges you just get on this tree, and we've been picking these and eating them. Same with the lime tree. It's smaller, and we've had probably about 30 limes off this little tiny tree. There's probably about maybe we've had about 20, and there's about 10 left. The sage plant probably needs cutting back for summer, and another dwarf lemon tree. You can just see how many lemons you just can't keep up unless you're making lemonade. Same with the mandarin tree, little dwarf mandarin tree. We need to get into making some marmalade there. And I'm going to move quickly across here so I'm not wasting too much of your time. But over here we've got an avocado tree I planted about 18 months ago. It's going gangbusters, maybe a couple of years ago. And hopefully we'll get some avocados this year. A little West Indian lime. Limes, one thing with limes compared to lemons or oranges, they really drop their fruit once they're ripe. So they don't stay on the tree very long. Lemonade tree, and another lemon tree, and another orange tree. So this orange, I don't know, it must have 60 oranges still on it, maybe more. I reckon we've probably had about 30 oranges off it already, maybe more. So probably had a lot more oranges this year than previous years, but maybe slightly smaller than last year. But you can see how much the tree's just being weighed down here, just bent over. So that's incredible. We're just starting to see the first of the new foliage on some of the deciduous fruit trees. This is a quince tree, and we made some beautiful quince jellies and quince jams for the first time. You can see most of these other plum and these new apricot trees I've just planted. The cherry trees really just still about to bud. Oh, look at this. I hadn't noticed. One of the apricot trees that I planted last year. We're just starting to see the blossom on. Beautiful. Looks like a lovely colour. Only planted that tree last year. Been pruning the cherry trees. I like to try and keep them about the same height as my head, so I'm not getting up ladders and I can get nets over them. You can see next to me this one here, which I haven't pruned, how much it's grown in 12 months. But what's been going on in the garden? Well, first things first, winter vegetables. So we've been having a great crop of kale, little baby spinach, and it's worth growing your lettuces over winter. I find I don't have to buy lettuces if I've got them in the garden. I just keep taking leaves off as I need them, and they're beautiful and green. One thing that I did pick up, because I grew a couple of different varieties here, is the cos lettuce hasn't done particularly well over winter. But the iceberg and some of the other varieties done really nicely. So anyway, that's the lettuces. Almost a bit embarrassed to show you this, but the peas, I grow snow peas and sugar snap peas, and you can see I need to get into this garden bed and get the weed out. I can highly recommend mulching. I normally do mulch, I didn't get to it, and up come the weeds. So I need to get onto that job. You can see here, these have grown a little bit better on this garden bed. And I've had some pak choy just self-seed. So I had a couple of meals of pak choy. Over here we've got the broccoli, and we're just starting to pick the broccoli. The other night we had some, it was amazing. Compared to the stuff that you get in the supermarket. It was just so fresh and tasty. This year I'm growing baby cabbages. I'll put my hand next to this so you can just see how small it is. And the leaves just look beautiful. I haven't tried it yet, but normally the large cabbages, we just can't get through them. And so I thought, this might be something worth trying, and looking forward to tasting them. They look delicious. Dill self-seeds at this time of the year, and so a couple of plants that self-seed and then a few that self-seeded elsewhere, and I've just put in here. I dug them up and moved them so they're a little bit wilted. Hopefully they'll come good again. And then in August, this is only the second year I've been planting the potatoes in this house, but they were so successful last year that I wanted to have another go at them and grow them again. And last year I grew the russet potatoes. I highly recommend them for if you like chips. I find the potatoes that you buy in the supermarket tend not to make very good chips. Maybe good for boiling or mashing or even roasting, but I like to buy some specialised potatoes that are really good for chips, and the russet potatoes were excellent. And here you can see this year, just from Bunnings, I've bought the Kennebec potatoes. And so they're certified seed potatoes, worth using seed potatoes, typically a little bit smaller. And they've been raised in soil that's disease-free, so typically get a better crop. And last year I planted some of my own that I just had in the cupboard, along with some seed ones, and the ones that I had in the cupboard did have a few problems with them. They had some markings through the middle of them. So yeah, I thought I might just stick with the seed potatoes this year. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these go and how they compare to the russet, and I'll give you some information on that. But anyway, potatoes, what are we doing? We're just planting them about 30 centimetres apart, 10 to 15 centimetres down in the ground, nice and easy. Hey, I thought I might share with you something here. Sorry, I'm bouncing around here, but have a look at this soil. So this soil's been sitting here for 12 months. And it was pretty, I have just raked over this a little bit to get some weeds out, but it was pretty much like this. It's just so loose, so easy to pull the weeds out. And I want to share with you why I think my soil is just so good, and I want to take you over and compare it to some soil that I got from one of the garden supply places, and you'll see the difference immediately. So this soil here in this bed is probably about 8 years old, 7-8 years old, and it wasn't actually soil at all. It was made up as a layered garden bed with a layer of cardboard on the very bottom of the bed. The bed's probably about 40 centimetres high, and it had a mixture of straw, compost and manure, and then that was layered straw, compost, manure, and each layer was watered in. And if anything, all I had was maybe about 10 centimetres of soil at the very top just to plant my seeds in that first year. And then every year I just add a little bit of compost and a little bit of manure to these beds, and the soil, the weeds love it. The soil is just drains so well, and it's just so loose and so easy to dig or just run your hands through. So when I pick these potatoes, I'm confident I'll just be able to put my hands in through the garden soil and just dig the potatoes out with my hands, so I don't hurt them. So that's the benefit of doing a raised layered garden bed. If I get up here and take you over to another bed, last year I was in a bit of a hurry and I had a bed that didn't have any soil in it. And so I just got a trailer load of soil, which was the first time I'd done this, from the local garden supply. So I bought their Veggie Soil mix. And if I just show you by comparison, you can see how it's not running through my hands. It's kind of holding together like it's clay. I mattocked just over here, I mattocked down into this soil because I couldn't just rake it or use a pitchfork. And it was dry a couple of inches down. But the top is all clumpy and muddy like this. And it just hasn't got enough organic matter in it. And yeah, it's just not beautiful soil. Like again, if I just pick up a hunk, it's just all clumping together like clay. And look, it'll break up now that it's been mattocked through, but it's just a totally different product. And what I'm going to be able to grow in this bed will be nothing like what I can grow in the other beds. So I'm going to need to get some manure and compost into this and really break it up and see if I can get it back to life. So I thought that's worth sharing with you. And if you're making your own garden beds, I can highly recommend that layered approach. I thought I'd just come over here quietly. Let's see how we go. I'm just going to sit down on the grass in front of the beehive. I'm not masked up or anything, so I'll just go careful and quiet. I just find this amazing. There's been very little action out of this hive up until today. It's been cold, it's been wet, and the bees don't really like coming out at that point in time. And a little bit of sunshine, and even though the sun's sort of gone behind the clouds now, a little bit of extra warmth, and the hive is just overflowing with activity. I just find it amazing. And I'm seeing a lot of pollen coming in on the back of their hind legs. Might not be picked up on the camera, but pretty much every bee that's returning at the moment looks like she's got, I should say, some pollen. And it's just amazing. So every year I kind of get caught out by surprise. I shrunk this hive down for over winter, just to the one box, and that allows them to stay warm, keep the queen warm, and I expect I probably need to open this hive up and have a look what's going on. Maybe I'll be able to get a split out of it at some point, but I'll certainly probably need to put another box on it with this amount of activity. I expect we're going to be starting to see a lot of brood and new baby bees being formed, and they're going to need a lot more space to store all the honey and have plenty of space to lay all the eggs. So pretty exciting stuff. The cycle of life continues, and they'll really expand up and grow, and we'll have a lot more bees over the spring period, and we'll get lots of honey. I think that's pretty cool. Well, that's probably it for me. I hope you found that a little bit interesting in terms of what's going on in the garden. And you know, it is August now, so if you're here in that sort of Melbourne, Victoria sort of area, it's time to start thinking about tomato seeds. You know, certainly lettuce seeds. I need to put some more lettuce seeds in. Things like eggplants and capsicums. We can start getting our seeds in, getting our seedlings ready, just putting them in little seed trays, getting our seedlings ready to plant in spring, and keep the veggie patch going. Bye for now. Thanks for watching, and if you found this a little bit interesting, you know, please feel free to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, or give it a like. Encourage me to keep some more videos going, and look forward to sharing with you what's going on in my garden over the coming months as it gets a little bit more interesting and things start to wind up. Cheers for now. Bye.